talked earlier about Taysom Hill's struggles with the 4 interceptions. Let's hear from both Peyton and Taysom Hill about Hill's performance in his first start of the season.
And I thought he played with a lot of heart, a lot of guts. You know, we didn't help him any in the first half. You know, I'll be honest with you, we got to catch that first interception. We got to. It's the perfect coverage look we get. We drop a ball, they make a good play on it. That's unfortunate.
You know, I'm not going to rush to any conclusions, having not seen the tape or anything. But man, I feel like we did some things really well tonight, and then we did some things really poorly. Obviously, it's tough to win a game when you turn the ball over 4 times. And so as you look at the stats and you look at what we did, that's obviously the thing that jumps out to you that's disappointing. You know, I made a comment to Coach at halftime. I said, hey, I like some of these QB runs, and I didn't know we were going to call them all on the next drive. But, yeah, I felt like that was nice. It's just kind of nice to get into a little bit of a rhythm, get the ball moving, and just get going, just get into the game a little bit. And, you know, I'm a physical player, and that stuff's fun for me.
And as we said, he ended up with 101 rushing yards, only the 3rd quarterback this year to do so. Lamar Jackson has done it a couple of times. Justin Fields did it for the Bears, and now Taysom Hill has done it. And he did enough that he's going to get the next start. And as you said, the playoff race may be over for the Saints at this point. They were 5-2. That's what makes this 5-7 record even more amazing. I mean, boom, 5-2 goes to 5-7 just like that. They beat the Buccaneers and fell apart after that. Just amazing to think that. They're still 3-0 in the regular season against Tom Brady's Buccaneers. And their last win came in the Superdome on Halloween against the Bucs, and they have not won a game since then. And injuries have a lot to do with it, but hey, nobody's going to shed any tears for anyone. I'm sure that's one of the, we've talked about it before, it's one of the Bill Parcells sayings, it doesn't matter. You win or you lose. No one's going to say, well, they didn't have this guy, they didn't have that guy. You either won or you lost. Yeah. And for 5 straight games now, the Saints have lost.
You know, Mike, I think about Taysom Hill, who, you know, you and I have spent time with him, both at the Super Bowl, me in New Orleans. He's an eminently likable leader. That's how I would describe him. He's a guy who his teammates really like. In part because he sacrifices his body, you know, and he is an old school football player. Now, on that first drive in the 3rd quarter that he was talking about, where he rushes for 42 yards and puts them in field goal position, and then it's 13-10, and you say, okay, they're in it. I guess I would just say this. I know that Taysom Hill says, hey, you know, I like some of those quarterback runs, but Sean Payton is smart enough to know that when you're a quarterback and you're consistently running between the tackles, you're not going to have a long shelf life. And you saw some of the hits that he took, some of the punishment that he took last night. Look, you compared him to Lamar Jackson at the top of the show, okay? And that, to me, is the difference. Lamar Jackson, as a runner, is this generation's Franco Harris. And for those who don't understand that comparison, I'll tell you, Franco Harris knew where the sidelines were, okay? And he knew that, you know, yes, I could probably get an extra 1.5 yards here, but instead of taking the beating that would consistently come from taking that extra 1.5 yards or burrowing for it or diving for it, I'm going to be here to play a full season. And that is what I fear. Hey, look, we could watch that game last night, Mike, and we would say that the best thing that they could do right now is a very heavy running, a dose of running of Taysom Hill. But I just think it's fraught with problems, and I think that you do that too long, and then it's going to be back to Trevor Siemian.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.